In a previous video, we've seen how to use a LoRa to generate some images with some styling. And in this one, we are going to do more or less the same, but this time we are going to combine two LoRas. We are going to use this first LoRa that generates images in the GTA 6 style, and the second LoRa we are going to use is the XL More Artful LoRa, which adds extra details to your images. Using a very basic prompt of a woman on a black motorbike, without applying any LoRa or whatsoever, this is the image we get. And then we are going to use our GTA 6 LoRa, which will generate this type of images, which look like a screenshot from the game. And then, to make things a little bit more exciting, we are going to apply the second LoRa, which will add more details to this image. And we will end up with something more or less like this. And we will also even generate an extra image of a cat, just to show you a little bit more example of what you can do when combining multiple LoRas together. Let's go ahead and start generating our images. We are going to start with a very basic workflow. I have my model loader here. The model that I will be using is the Juggernaut XL model. Then I have my positive and negative prompt here, followed by the K sampler, the VAE decode, and an image preview node. Of course, you can use a save image node if you prefer. I have my latent image here with some aspect ratio dimensions that work well with an SDXL model. And for the prompt, we are going to use a woman on a black motorbike at dusk. When I'm doing some experimentations in my workflow, I like to use a fixed seed data, a fixed seed number, sorry. So this way I know what are the effect of my changes to the generated image. Let's go ahead and cue the prompt. Without applying any LoRa or whatsoever, so this is what we will get. So let's go and add our LoRa to the workflow. So I've already done a video on how to add LoRas on the workflow, so I'm going to go a little bit quickly on this part. So I'm adding my LoRa node here. Let's select the GTA 6 LoRa. Let's not forget to add the trigger words to our prompt. I'm just going to copy them from CVTI. Okay, so we can now cue the prompt and we should get a GTA 6 style image. Here we go. We have an image in the style of GTA 6. So let's try to enhance this image with another LoRa. So this time we are going to use the XL More Artful LoRa. To do that, we'll have to add another node for the LoRa, and it will sit just after the first LoRa. So let's go. We can add the LoRa loader, and this time I'm going to choose the other LoRa, which is Artful. Here we go. Just like we did before, we can connect the clip input and output together, then put the clip on the prompt, and the model goes in the K sampler. We don't have any trigger word, so there is nothing to change on the prompt. We can just cue the prompt. Here we go. As simple as that. This is what we get. Something else that you can do as well when working with multiple LoRas is to fine-tune their strength. Here in the LoRa node, you have strength model parameters. So you have the strength model and the strength clip. Basically, one of them applies to the model and the other one to the clip. But more often than not, it's usually the strength model that will make changes to your images. But of course, feel free to play around and experiment to see what you get as the outcome and find the right parameters for the LoRa you're using. So here, let's say we wanted to reduce the details that are added to the to the generated image. I could reduce the strength here to, let's say, 0.3 and see what we get as a result. Yes, as you can see, it's slightly less details. You have like less of a purple here, so there is no more the jacket with the patterns on it. So you can go ahead and play around with the different strength parameters to see if you generate images that you prefer. With this LoRa combination, one of them is applying a style to the generated image and the other one is adding details. So they are not really in conflict on what they do. But in other cases, let's say we have two LoRas that apply different styles to the image. Playing around with the strength of the LoRas can really make a big difference in the outcome. So let's go ahead and demo that. For this, we are going to use two different LoRas. The first one is the Pixel Art LoRa and Classic Paint. So we are going to select the LoRa in our node. So starting with the Pixel one, and we are going to end with the Classic Paint LoRa. So this time let's put back the strength to 1, and what we are going to generate here is a black cat. Yeah, it is a tradition to generate cat images, so let's respect the traditions. And for the pixel art, for the Classic Paint LoRa, we are going to use the trigger word, and from memory I think it's oil painting, yeah. And the pixel art also has trigger words. We are going to add those as well. So I already have a seed that I liked, so I'm going to copy that seed as well in my sampler. If you want to experiment with different seeds, you just select random here and generate multiple images until you find a seed that you like. Here we go. We have a blend of those two LoRa with some pixel styled image and some oil painting applied to it as well. So now with these two LoRa, because they are both affecting the style of the image, by changing their strength, we can get different effect. Let's start reducing the effect of the pixel art one. Let's put it to half the strength. Usually the strength goes from 0 to 1, but check the LoRa documentation to see how to apply those different parameters. It's fairly different. You can see here it's more on the painting style. Let me reduce the strength of both of them to see what we get. Yeah, I think I like that. This looks like a painting with a big brush. Yeah, looks good to me. Just to recap, you have a model loader here and followed by 1, 2 or multiple LoRas, and at the end the rest of the workflow is pretty basic. You have your prompt, sampler and image, and inside the prompt, of course, don't forget to add the trigger words if the LoRa needs the trigger words. Once you have done that, you can play around with the strength of the models. Usually it's the strength model that affects the outcome, but some LoRa also react to changes on the strength of the clip. So play around with those and see what you get as a result. If you liked this video, you can find other tutorial and guides on my channel on how to use ComfyUI to generate amazing images.